Alize, were you involved with Alexis's disappearance whatsoever?
No, sir, not in any way.
How did you meet Alexis?
So there is a Chinese restaurant where I'm from in South Carolina, and everybody adores it. It's top of the line. You got to try it. And I was walking out one day, and I seen her sitting in her car. She was parked right beside mine, and I was fangirling so bad because she's so pretty. Like, she's stunning, seriously. And everybody where I'm from, they know her, they love her. Like, she's just a great person. So I'm walking to my car and I'm like, "You are so beautiful." And she was like, "You too." And we just hit it off. We exchanged numbers. Maybe like 2 weeks after we exchanged numbers, we had been texting over the time. She invited me over. We sat down. We were both into like kind of the same things. Like, I do have, well, at the time I had an OnlyFans. And you haven't posted the pictures of her yet, but she is a very sexy, very beautiful woman. And so she was into the same line of work. She's a tad bit older than me. And so she was more of a mentor, trying to like coach me on what to do, what not to do, the right way to go about things, what's too much and what's not enough. And that's how we met. Everything was great. I would go to her house because I also, do home health care. So I would go to her house after I left my patients' houses because it was on my way home. I would chill. We would smoke, just girl stuff, watch Steve Wilkos.
There you go.
And so we became very, very close. She was like a big sister to me. So fast forward, one Saturday she calls me and she was like, "Hey, I want to give you all of my belongings." And that included her car, the keys to her apartment, and she said, "You can have everything in it. The stuff that you don't want, you can just sell it." And I'm an emotional creature, so I'm crying and I'm like, "Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "I want a fresh start." She's like, "I love you, and if I can do anything to make your life better, that's what I'm supposed to do as your mentor." And I thanked her, and we pretty much finished up that conversation.
Did you say where you're going?
She didn't say, and I didn't ask too many questions. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was in shock, and I just was like...
Yeah, but and listen, everybody reacts to things differently. But like, say, if I have a close friend, and he says, "Hey, Steve, you can have everything of mine," I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And if he says, "Hey, I'm gonna leave," or "I'm not gonna be here anymore," I'd be like, "Hey, man, tell me where you're going."
Right.
And when somebody says they're giving their stuff away, to me, and I'm a lot older than you.
I got you.
Okay. To me, that's a warning sign, like somebody wants to do self-harm.
She wanted me to come to this address whether I talked to her or not, her words verbatim. And she said that she was going to leave her car there with the keys inside of the car to her apartment and her car. She was going to leave some money. So that following Sunday, she calls me again and she was like, "Hey, my Ring camera keeps going off. Do you mind driving to my house and seeing if I have packages, that I can't see?" So I told her yes. I got up, I drove to her house. I didn't see any packages, but I am a over goofy person. I cannot help it. And so when I get in front of her Ring camera, I'm like getting down, because she can see me on the camera. I turn around to, shake a tail feather, and the neighbors directly across from her have a Ring camera. So I'm like, they're recording me too.
Yeah.
So I just wave at the camera and I walk off. I shoot her a text like, "I was dancing in front of your Ring camera and your neighbors have one," or whatever. And she ha-ha'd my message. I let her know there were no packages there. And the last message that I ever got from her was her laughing at the text message that I sent her, and I did not hear from her.
Did she ever tell you that she was scared?
No. I mean, no. I feel bad.
Something about a black truck following her?
No, and I feel bad because I feel like I should have paid attention more, but it's like, how do you, you don't feel the guilt until after.
Yeah, but I don't think most people go through life saying, "Oh, I'm never going to see this person again." You know what I mean?
Right, so it's like you don't feel it until after.
So she tells you about the car, she's giving you things. But she ended up didn't give you the car, right? Like, because she took her car and they found it.
Well, Well, Steve, you gotta let me tell the story.
Okay, I'm still learning it myself.
You're fine.
So,
You're
yeah.
fine. After I left her home and I drove back home, everything was fine. I didn't hear from her anymore. So I did text her Monday. I didn't get a response. Tuesday morning, I shot her a text like, "Hey, haven't heard from you. Just trying to figure out if I should still drive up or whatever." She didn't respond. But then I'm like, she did say if I don't talk to her, still, make this drive. It was a good hour away. So I get on the road, me and my friends there. We are having fun. The energy is high. We are high. It was just a really good time. We had fun. So we drive up there. We're like 10 minutes away from the destination that she gave. And my friend, she turns the radio down. And she's like, "Have you seen this?" And it is a missing persons flyer on Facebook of Alexis. I call the number on the missing persons flyer, and it is a family member of Alexis. And she's like, "When is the last time that you spoke to her?" And I was like, "Sunday, And she's like, "Well, that's the last time that anybody really spoke to her." She was like, "What time?" So she could get, a time frame. I let her know, and then I told her, like, Alexis sent me this address. I'm worried right now because everything's going through my mind. Like, if she's missing, what if somebody took her and then they told her to call and bring more girls, or I was
You're thinking maybe you might be in trouble.
I thought it was a 3-for-1 special. I was lost. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on. And so she was like, "Well, what is the address?" And I told her, and she said, "That's her mom's house. Go ahead and go." So I get there. Her mom is standing outside, and she looks at me, and she's like, "You're Alize?" And I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she was like, I was beside Lex when she was telling you to come up here and get her stuff." So that's how she knew who I was. And we pretty much sat there and cried together for a second. She updated on me on Alexis' last whereabouts. And allegedly, Alexis met her son's father at a store to swap the kids, and allegedly she sped
she has
around
children.
him. She has 2 beautiful children.
So
Yes.
why would a mom just abandon everything?
It doesn't
I mean,
make sense.
Do you have any idea what happened to her?
I have no idea. I wish I knew.
Yeah. It's been 3 years.
It's been a long time.
I mean, that's terrible. And I feel bad for Alberta. This is her daughter. It's one thing to lose a child, but it's one thing not to know whatever happened to your child.
And I don't blame Miss Alberta for going, like, if she chose to never talk to me, I understand, because I have a 5-year-old. If anything ever happened to my son, everybody is a suspect.
But the worst is
so I get
not
it.
know, like, if your son just disappeared one day, like, it'd be hard to accept that your child died, murdered, killed,
Correct.
accidental, purposely. But just vanishing off the face of the earth has got to be the worst hell on earth.
Yeah.
Knowing your child might be out there, you don't know if they're dead, they're alive, that's the worst thing. All right, but you came here because you want to prove to Alberta and other people you had nothing to do
Yes, sir.
with Alexis's death. Well, let's meet Alexis's mother, Alberta.
Give me some love. Get off me, baby, cry. Okay.
First of all, I'm so sorry for you to be in a position you are, because I've said it on my show a million times. I think the worst thing that can happen to a parent is losing a child. This is even worse, in my opinion. You don't know what happened to your child. There's, if you knew she was dead, you can mourn her death.
Right.
But not, and you don't have any idea, right?
None. None at all.
Do you have any thoughts, or, do you have any suspicions?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
And obviously you must have shared these with the police.
Yes.
Do the police have any leads, or are they looking at anybody?
In the beginning, they didn't take her disappearance serious.
Yeah. A lot of times time has to pass before they, know. But sometimes you need to jump right in, because the more time passes, the less likely you're going to find it.
Right. I had to put on my PI hat for my child.
Yeah. So nothing, you've heard nothing in 3 years then?
Nothing.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a question, and if you don't want to answer it, it's fine. How do you get through every day?
the kids. They keep me going.
Yeah. Well, then you got something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any way that your daughter would leave her children?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
She would never.
How are kids doing?
Right now, they are coping. They're doing great. You know, her daughter, even though she's being bullied and picked on every day,
Well, why are kids picking on her? Because her mom is gone?
they like to throw that up in her face.
I mean, kids are mean. I mean, it's always been that way, and it'll always be that way. Again, I pray for you that someday you get some resolution. Hopefully, the best would be if she's still alive and she comes home, or at least, the very least, you find out what happened to her, so you can, you know, have some closure in your life. Alize's here because she's been, a lot of people saying, hey, you killed her for money, you were sleeping with her ex. Do you believe any of this?
I don't even think she knew him. Like,
No.
she never met him.
Right. All right, but she wanted to come here and clear her name, and so we're going to read her lie detector test. Your daughter dropped off the kids with the father, right?
He is one of them.
One of them.
Yes.
And he was a person of interest, but my wife just told me that he was just cleared. Okay. And I'll say this, if there's anything we could ever do in the future, somebody be willing to come on and take a lie detector test that maybe you thought that might have some information on your daughter, we'd love to be able to do that for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Alize, you came here and took a lie detector test. And we asked you, do you know for certain where Alexis is today? You answered no. Are you withholding any information from law enforcement about Alexis's disappearance that could lead to her being found? You answered no. Are you withholding any information from Alexis's family about her disappearance that could lead to her being found? You answered no. Did you have any involvement with Alexis's disappearance? You answered no. The results came back all the same, and it came back that Alize told the truth.
I'm shaking. I'm sorry. Oh, I needed that. I needed that. I just needed it to be said out loud. I needed that.
We're going to, at the end of this story, we're going to record a call to action with a number if anybody has any information. Do you believe that your daughter is still alive?
No.
No.
As much as I would love that.
Yeah,
No.
I'd have to agree with you. I mean, just from my experience working as a policeman, usually after this much time. But again, I would hope that somebody would speak up, at least know where she's at so you can recover the body if that's the case and have closure and move on and be there for her kids. We hope this helps, and like I said, we're here. If there's anybody in the future that we can help and give a test to, we're more than likely. We wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Very nice meeting you. Very nice meeting you. If anyone has any information pertaining to Alexis Ware's disappearance, the best way to provide that information would be to call the sheriff's main line at 864-260-4400 or submit a tip to Anderson Area Crime Stoppers at 1-866-917-TIPS.